Welcome to the the-fwot-show on the Coil Entertainment Network, pointing out idiocy one story at a time. Actually, sometimes we kind of merge the stories together. That's not the point. You'll catch on. I'm Rob Steele. That's Jesus Jones in the background. And we're going to start with the biggest idiot of them all right now. No, not Will Ferrell. Donald Trump. He announced a new immigration control law that, if passed and actually enforced, one of the people who would be deported is Melania Trump, Don Boy's wife, sometimes referred to as the First Lady, although this is Donald Trump. It's the Third Lady. Learn to count, Republicans. Anyway, I was wondering if Don actually put this out purposefully, because it's about time for him to get a new wife if you keep to the pattern that he's already set. So could this really just be a cheaper way for him to divorce his wife? I'm asking. Or, and this is more likely, is he really just an idiot that needs a lot more education before he can run a country? I'm just asking here. I think he's an idiot, because our education system needs help, and you know what? He's not helping it. He's keeping people stupid. His new budget came out, and it's going to cut the funding for a lot of educational programs, like the Advanced Research Project Agency. Nope, it'll be gone. National Wildlife Refuge Fund. Technically, that's kind of educational. You learn about wildlife. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It'll be gone. The 21st Century Community Learning Centers. Yeah, obviously, we don't need those anymore. The list goes on. There's, 22 just on this list. And why would we ever possibly want the Woodrow Wilson International Centers for Scholars? That would just make people smarter, and we can't have that. You know how you have to be 18 to vote, right? That makes sense, and you got to show your ID at the polling place and show proof of U.S. citizenship when you register to vote. All this stuff, goes on in Kansas, like it does everywhere else, except Kansas has a new issue. There are now 6 new candidates running for governor. Now, you have to be 18 to vote for governor, but in Kansas, you don't have to be 18 to run for governor. So, there are now 6 people under the age of 18 running in a race to be governor of a state where they're not even allowed to vote yet. Granted, if you look at the way the state's been run so far, can it really get any worse? Might even be a good idea. Look, fresh blood. As opposed to another congressperson, another potential congressperson. Actress Stacey Dash has announced that she is considering running for Congress. Now, my problem with this is, well, first off, who the hell is Stacey Dash? I had to look her up. And the reason I don't know her is because she's from a film that I never watched because it sounded stupid to begin with. It's called Clueless. And, let's see, she claims to be a conservative, so yeah, that seems to fit. And I'm not against women running for Congress. I do it on an individual basis. And Stacey Dash? No. Because there are enough clueless people in Congress already. You know how McDonald's slogan is, "I'm loving it"? Some people are going to be loving it a lot more once this story actually hits, if there is anything to it. And there could be. A Japanese stem cell research team may have found a way to cure baldness by using an ingredient found in McDonald's French fries. I'd like to be making that up. That just sounds utterly bizarre to me, and I'm wondering why that ingredient isn't in more things. While we're on lighter news, let me go ahead and get this out of the way. From the creators of Old Spice comes an interesting marketing idea. Old Spice is now marketing itself to the role-playing game community by creating a new playable class of character in Dungeons & Dragons. I'm not making this up. There's no longer fighters and wizards and thieves and clerics. Now there's the gentleman, or gentle lady, depends on your point of view, or gender, or whatever you feel like doing in the game. The gentleman class, and I'll quote here, is basically a bard on steroids with a few overpowered abilities mixed in. Not only does a gentleman class increase their battle attack bonus every level, that's something usually reserved for martial classes only, they also get to add their charisma and dexterity modifier to their armor class whenever they wear a fancy suit. That's right, ladies. Look at your man. Now look at this guy. Now look at your man. Now look at this guy. Don't you wish he was this guy? Get on his horse. Tied up. Wait, what? And now back to news. That's just not as funny as I'd like it to be. It'd be great if I could do pure comedy on this show again, but they won't let me. There was a tape that was released this week. CNN got a hold of it, played it. The short version is a sheriff in Tennessee was caught discussing a fatal shooting. Basically, the discussion came out like this. Go ahead and shoot him. I don't care. That came from a sheriff about a suspect. You don't do that. That's not your job to shoot people. Enforce the law. Shoot if you have to. When asked for permission to shoot the suspect, the sheriff said, damn, I don't give a shit. Go right ahead. Really? Really? Wow. And we wonder why we have a gun problem in this country. Yeah, that's right. We have a gun problem in this country. Let me give you some numbers that came out recently from a variety of sources that, frankly, I believe a lot more than anything Donald Trump tells me. The number of Americans killed annually over the past 10 years by category. Islamic jihadists. That's what they keep warning us about. Islamic jihadists have killed an average of 2 people a year. As opposed to the far right-wing terrorists, that's your Republicans, that would be 5 people a year. Yeah. Let's go to another category. Armed toddlers. Because such a category exists. 21 people a year are killed by armed toddlers. Now, granted, 31 are killed by lightning, 69 by lawnmowers, 737 by falling out of bed, but almost 12,000 a year. 12,000 Americans killed every year from being shot by another American. That's the size of a small town. Actually, that's bigger than the town I live in right now. Granted, it's against my will, but that's not the point. 12,000 people a year. Now tell me how we don't have a gun problem. And explain to me why nothing has been done yet. Let's move to sports, where something happened at the Olympics that I don't entirely understand. It's not the event that happened at the Olympics. I understand the luge. Get on the sled, go down the course, fastest person wins. I'm there with that. However, I cannot explain why I have turned into Howard Cosell. Let me switch gears just a minute, and let me explain to you about Emily Sweeney, one of the big names in American women's luge. She made headlines recently as the women's luger that had a big accident. She did. Big deal was made out of it because she wrecked her luge, and she did it fairly spectacularly. You don't go down the hill sideways, unless it's a power slide, at which point Jeremy Clarkson, wow. He says handbrake turns do something for women. A woman just did a handbrake turn on a sled, Jeremy. What do you think of that? Anyway, my point is, she's fine. She's bruised, but she got up and walked off the course. Seriously. What annoys me no end is the press coverage of this. Now, like I said, there were no broken bones, no decapitation, no death, and you know what else there wasn't? No video footage that isn't YouTube bootleg quality. All of the networks covered it. Big headlines. Hey, look what happened. No video. But we're going to give you still shots of her before and after, and here's a still shot of her going sideways. but no actual video, even though there is such a thing. I've seen it. It's on YouTube. It's kind of crappy quality, and you know what? Frankly, it wasn't that big a wreck. But, if you want to make that big a deal out of it, and she isn't hurt, show it or shut up. Seriously, there are multiple videos of her mom reacting. Look at her mom. Her mom sees her wreck and, oh, the humanity. But not the actual wreck itself. What is the point in reporting that? Now, there's a phrase, money is the root of all evil. And that's what they ask for in church. I'm sorry, that's another subject altogether. In a full-blown the-fwot story, Oklahoma is so broke that they may be moving to a 4-day school week so that teachers can work at Walmart on Mondays to make rent. I told you, we need more education in this country, and that's not going to do it. Oh, what party controls Oklahoma right now? Could it be the Republicans? Yeah, actually it is. And if you think that that is not in the least bit okay, you'd be correct. But you know what? Send me your thoughts on it anyway. Contact me through the website, the-fwot-show.com, where you'll find the email address, which I'm telling you now anyway, rob@the-fwot-show.com. On the website, you'll also find buttons for Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest. You can find the show on Pinterest. While you're at the website, don't forget to click the buttons for iTunes or YouTube or whatever and subscribe to the show. Also, head to the Fwot shop and pick up a t-shirt or a hat or a coffee mug, all of which goes to support all the shows on the Coil Entertainment Network, of which there are new ones coming. I'm not telling you what, because I'm still working on it, but they are on their way. And you'll like them, whether you want to or not. No. You'll enjoy them. They're fun shows. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with more stupidity, for there is plenty to go around. The state of Ohio had to actually issue a statement recently. Actually, they didn't have to. In a sense, I'm glad they did. I would prefer that they didn't have to do anything like this. They decided to issue a statement that says, quote, "We have been made aware that persons are possibly eating Tide Pods because they resemble candy. We thought it would be prudent to let persons know that this traffic cone is not just a really big piece of candy corn. They don't taste at all like candy. Please do not eat them. Though most likely not dangerous to eat, a traffic cone would be very chewy, could taste like motor oil, and be extremely difficult to swallow." I'm really hoping they set this out as a joke, but considering the education that goes on in this country, no, I'm fairly certain they meant it. Until next time, be safe out there and don't eat the traffic cones.